Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can someone text me and see if this is working? Can anyone hear me now? Perfect. Okay, so we've got the audio back up on the webinar. Thank goodness. Thank you, everyone, for um, just having some patience. We're going to go ahead and get this call started for everyone. And so, all right. So thank you guys for your patience. And I am going to be muting the line so that everyone can. Okay, so I am very excited to connect with you guys. Thank you for giving me some feedback. I finally got this mic working, and we have quite the call today. And so we're going to jump into some information, even though we're just a few minutes behind. I just, sometimes when technology isn't on our side, we will all just roll with the punches. So thanks again. I'm going to just go ahead and mute some of these lines out so that everyone can hear what I'm saying. Here we go. Controls. All right. Okay, great. Here we go. All right, we got the audio working on both ends now, and so what we're going to do is go ahead and get started. I'm excited about this. So, for those of you who are just now coming onto the video feed, I just was beginning to say, I want to acknowledge each and every single one of you for showing up and coming into this SFC Summit for whatever you want to get out of this. Okay, opting in and choosing in is a powerful thing. And so I just want to acknowledge you and honor you for doing that. So really, the reason I put this on is because what we're experiencing in the world of Trinot right now is nothing short of amazing. I've never experienced the kind of business that is growing at this rapid rate. And so what we're looking to do is to share some of the trade secrets, some of the juiciest things that we've picked up over the last 10 years in one place each week for 12 weeks so that you can be developing as a leader, but most importantly, you can be actually in an environment where we can track, keep accountable, and design an entire path for you to take to get you to SFC and beyond. Now, many of you on the line, like, what's great about this is what we've got 27 people who have made the commitment to hit SFC by the end of this series. We're going to help you do that. We have 6 people shooting for 1-star SFC, and we've got 12 people shooting for 2-star SFC. I want to just congratulate all of you. And for those of you who are newer in the Trinot world, we welcome you. If your goal is FC or 1-star or 2-star FC, that is amazing. We're going to help you hit those goals and get you into those streams of residual income. And so I'm just really excited. I just wanted to recognize everyone who made a bold and courageous commitment to hit a position, and they submitted that into the intake form. So our purpose statement today and for the entirety of the SFC Summit is to increase production, hit promotions, and experience payouts, not just for ourselves, but for our team. And when we really, truly begin to treat Trinot like a traditional business, you will see it start to pay like a multi-million-dollar business. And so I'm going to give you everything I got. We are going to be in this environment together, walking through this together. And I want you to understand, it was the funniest thing, and this keeps happening to me in business. This is what happened. Um, the day that we really put this together and made the decision, we're going to do this. We're in crazy momentum in every marketplace, that like all across the board, and it's been amazing. And to commit to being with you and growing you as a leader was like, all right, awesome. But the day that that happened, the founders of the company sent me the exact same kind of leadership tracking accountability program. So just know we're all in this together, and we are all fighting for what we came here to get. And in Trinaut, more than anything I've been involved in my life, now is the time to focus. Now is the time to put our heads down and make this thing go crazy. Okay, so what does this look like? I've put together a program that's designed specifically and custom designed for Trinaut and your business. And what I have done is I've done a couple of these kind of leadership webinar, nitty gritty module systems before. And I want you to understand the results were pretty powerful. Like I mentioned in the short video on Facebook, we had dozens and dozens of promotions in years past. And so I'm more confident than I've ever been, knowing the vehicle that we all share in Trinaut, that you'll be able to really see results as a result of going through this information. So what is it we're going to be talking about? Well, here's what the itinerary looks like. The itinerary looks like getting strategic tracking technology and metrics in business. So what does that mean? You're tracking what you're doing, the activity, the money-making activities. We're going to be showing you today how to track this next week of productivity. So it's going to be unemotional. It's going to show you what you want to see. It's going to show you what you don't want to see. And that's exactly what we need to keep us moving towards our goal. We are going to go over how to properly launch a new executive and implement the 24-hour action plan as I've used throughout my career in network marketing. We're going to show you the build. We are going to reveal recruiting techniques and methods that work. We're going to go into advanced inviting, leverage, how to use the holding tank and the placement manager, taprooting 101 and 201. We're going to go into how to drive a team 21 levels deep so that it never stops growing. We're going to go into warm and cold market recruiting and how to structure your team. What is the short-term and long-term build that we want to see? You're going to know all of those things. And in this environment, I'm going to be able to go into it a lot more detail than I would if we were doing it on a conference call or even at a regional event. The art of promotion, how to leverage your time by getting your team engaged in the events. And I promise you, the art of promotion is going to show you how to build a business that grows without you. Okay? The back office training is going to be a powerful segment. Keep in mind, we're going to be bringing some guest speakers in, maybe, to share a little bit about, their expertise, and some of the experts in some of these categories are going to be speaking on these things. We're going to talk about the psychology of closing the deal, getting people started. There's several different schools of thought. We're going to go over each one. We're going to talk about presenters training. We're going to show you how to present the opportunity and communicate at a higher level, and even implement storytelling and really how to master the art of storytelling, and also just to develop your quick 30-second elevator pitch to get people's interest peaked. We're going to talk about running a marketplace, because you're a leader and you need to know certain things about how etiquette works and how to design the perfect event. We're going to talk about being the leader and showing up as the leader, and what that looks like in your Trinaut business, as well as going over some of the services things, but also promoting retention in your organization so that your volumes are there forever, okay? And how to also effectively use testimonials. So all of this within a 12-week segment. We're going to be going through these things. There will also be some personal things like how to structure your day, the miracle morning. Some of you are familiar with some of these concepts, but I'm going to be bringing it up just a notch. And so there are some ground rules for this program, you guys. Okay, you're going to get the goods, but I want to make sure that if I'm going to be investing the next 12 weeks of my career into you, that there's some things that we have clear. Okay, so I need each and every one of you to choose into all 12 of these weeks. And we already have had your written commitment, and you've given your word that you're committing to these 12 weeks of this event. So I'm going to ask that you keep your word, that you commit to every session. And if for some reason you have to, there's a scheduling conflict, that you will let us know, the leadership know, so that we can identify and give you the makeup recordings, which are available. We're going to ask that you connect with your accountability partner, or what we call the accountability buddy, on a weekly basis, because I will explain the power of this in a minute. So what we've done is created a Facebook page that you'll get an invitation to shortly after the call. That will allow you to find an accountability partner if you haven't done so already. Then we are going to ask that you complete all standard homework assignments that are given at each week. Now, this isn't going to be so time consuming, and it's not going to be this big hairy thing, but staying in making sure you're completing what we do ask is going to help you stay on track to hit the goals that you set for yourself. Okay. We're also going to ask that you stay in communication with the leadership about goals and challenges and well-being. If something pops up in your life, like, we want to know about it, like, let's stay in communication. We're going to ask that you be on time and be responsible for completing each assignment, as well as being a super groovy, positive contribution to the entire community of the SFC Summit, okay? There are several teams represented within this group. There are people from all walks of life who are coming into this because they have some lofty goals and some desires that they want to see busted out before the national event. And so again, that is the final kind of ground rule for success, is each of you have registered for the June national event, and that is kind of the finish line for the SFC Summit. That's actually just about 90 days from now, and it gives us the opportunity to watch you be promoted from stage in front of thousands of people for the efforts and work that you put into this now. Okay? So, when is this call going to be happening? When are these weekly webinars going to be happening? Well, I've looked at a lot of different time slots, and I understand people have, a lot of people have the JOB still, or, businesses, people are busy. And so I wanted to set up a time that was accessible for most. Okay. And this is going to test some of the ground rules above, but it's going to be at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time each Monday morning. Okay. So it's a perfect way to start your week. You got the Sunday night team call, and then you got the Monday morning SFC Summit that's going to launch you into productivity throughout the weeks. Okay. Then, so those are just a few of the ground rules for success. Okay. So I just wanted to share those things with you, because if you take this seriously and you invest in this experience, you will be able to see the results years from now. Participants of previous 90-day things that I've done in the past have all shown real, true numbers on paper in terms of results. That's what I want for you. That's what I want to see you have happen to you, is promote from the front of the stage and be recognized. Now, keep in mind, we will be having weekly recognition contests within our SFC Summit, okay? So there's going to be, it's so much fun when we're all going out there and building our business. When we're tracking the numbers and the metrics, we're able to put that into, we're able to track that on a weekly basis. So we're going to be able to see who, starts, here and ends up here, who has the most improvement, who has the most productivity on a week-to-week basis, who excels at promoting events, who excels at recruiting. You know what I mean? We're going to have an environment of celebration as you hit some of your goals. Okay. So I love that. We are also on the 17th. Okay. So that's going to be the third weekly call in the SFC Summit. We're going to have a host who's going to begin hosting each call. And so that's powerful, because they're going to be coming in and actually going over, all of the recognition and the daily method of operation. Now, what are we going to talk about today? So there's a handful of things that I wanted to go over to start off the SFC Summit. Okay, so essentially, we want to get you into the right mindset for what this looks like for your business and where you want to start off right out of the gate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually pull this up, and if my technology is complying with me, what I'm going to do is screen share for a moment. Okay, and we're going to be going through some of these slides that I put together just to give you an idea of why I find this to be such an important part of our business. So here we go. Session number 1. All right. Here we go. Oh man, I haven't had technology issues like I've had in the last week for a while. Okay. Here we go. All right. So you should be able to see. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Someone wants to text me and make sure that they can see the screen. That'd be awesome. Okay. So the SFC Summit Session 1. We get to climb this mountain together, and I'm so excited about that. I love our little graphic here. And really, why are we doing this? Because in the history of the industry, most of the top 100 money earners in network marketing, $100 billion industry, use this method to actually grow their teams and create long-lasting success. Okay. Oh, thank you, Julie, for letting me know I can see. All right, awesome. So this is kind of one of those trade secrets in and of itself. What we call a 90-day run is really what network marketing is designed to, what we're designed to do within the world of network marketing is these 90-day bursts of energy. Now, who teaches this? We have a lot of people who teach the 90-day principle. Darren Hardy, for one, editor of Success Magazine and has created the Compound Effect book. Eric Worre, popular for GoPro. He had interviewed people from all over the industry who said the key of my success has been these 90-day runs. Okay, so that's technically what the SFC Summit is. There's 90 days between now and our event. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can structure that to work in your favor. We have people like Craig Cotter and Jennifer Dowd who have generated just millions of dollars in income by utilizing the 90-day run. I know our SVP, Jennifer Dowd, has many times shared with me that she puts a lot of the merit to her success on this concept of having 90-day bursts of energy. Why? Because a common misconception in the industry is that you're going to do a lot, over a long period of time and kind of drip on your business. Whereas you have people like Grant Cardone or Darren Hardy who are saying you put in a burst of massive action for a short period of time, and you can take your business into the stratosphere, and then you go into maintenance mode, right? And you maintain what you have, and you kind of and then you go into another 90-day push and burst of energy, and then you maintain. And so it's kind of this dance, but each time you're going to be taking some serious action in your business, and you're going to see the results. I believe it's Darren Hardy that says month 1 in a 90-day run is going to be about, signing a bunch of people up and going out and really getting your key people and just focusing in one area of recruiting. And then he teaches that the next month is to really identify, okay, who are my leaders? And the third month is to then identify who are the leaders of those leaders, and then and that would be a 90-day run. So pretty cool concept. And look at traditional business. What do? They track productivity by quarters. And so that's what we're basically going to be doing here. April 1st counts as the next quarter. Okay, so why the SFC Summit? This is something that I have been a fan of. When I learned about this study, it was really a powerful thing for me. So understand, you can read through this, but essentially, Dr. Gail Matthews designed some research around people who do goal setting and write their goals, and why some people hit their goals. Like we're all done with the first quarter of 2017. You tell me if you hit your New Year's resolutions, right? The statistics are staggering for people. I think it's like 8% of people hit their New Year's resolutions. Well, this doctor wanted to know why. And so the study demonstrated the effectiveness of accountability and commitment. And so people who wrote down their goals, 43% of them accomplished them, in that time frame. Then, taking it a step further, they found that people who wrote their goals down on paper in front of them and then designed action commitments. So instead of a to-do list, design action commitments for each step of the goal. 64% of those hit their goal. That's amazing, you guys. And then you take it even a step further as written goals, action commitments, and then weekly progress, like reports and accountability, weekly accountability. All that's going to do is show that 76% of those people accomplish their goal. Okay? And so really identifying your specific goals that you want, that's why I wrote that in the intake form. I wanted to, without you knowing anything I was going to talk about, I wanted you to design what your destination was. Okay? Because anything's possible in 90 days. That's how I've built my personal businesses, 90-day bursts of energy. And so what I love is that each and every one of you can go back and kind of design your goals, write them down, and then you're going to share it with your accountability partner. And that's what I am requesting, is that you connect with that accountability partner. That's a ground rule, is to connect with them on a weekly basis and talk about, where you're at and what your goal is, and stretch that possibility, and to not be afraid of disappointment. And so we're going to go over some of these things and some of the emotional pieces of maintaining and reaching your goals, because there are going to be some obstacles that come into play, okay? And so just understand that we're going to be going through that together, and as a team, as a tribe of people. It's so much more effective when we can, face those obstacles together, okay? So here we go. Let's go back into this. There we are. Perfect. Okay. So, next slide. All right. So, defining the SFC Summit. Again, you have to know what you want in order to accomplish it. So get very clear on the types of goals that you want to set. And of course, a goal is nothing without a time frame attached to it. If you're your own boss, it's a very smart thing to put some deadlines on yourself. If you know that you have an event coming up Monday night, and there's a big leader flying in from across the country, then you can set some specific goals to how many guests that you want to get in front of the information. And once you have that goal, then you can create an action plan attached to it that says, okay, in order to get 5 guests in front of Craig Cotter, I'm going to have to make a handful of calls. In order to make a handful of calls, I'll have to design that list. And so starting with the list, then stepping into the calls, and then having 5 confirmed guests, right? Like designing those goal setting things, it's really powerful. So we want to help you focus on what matters most in your business. So we're going to be showing you what to focus on in terms of money generating activities. Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do that don't pay you money that feel like work. We're going to show you how to eliminate those items and focus on only the money making activities over the next 90 days so that you can start to see all this fruit. To make sure, we want to make sure that you're in agreement regarding your priorities, okay? So the beauty of Trinant is you get to really design, okay, what do I want this to look like? And how many, hours a week, like what does this look like for me? We're not imposing a workload on you We're just saying, hey, be in agreement with your priorities. And if you say, I'm going to put a few hours into my turnout business this week, then those few hours need to be filled with money-making activities. Okay, the next item is, of course, to provide you with accountability, because things just seem to happen a little bit more when you put yourself out there and people know that you've made a decision to do this. And I'm telling you, if you leverage accountability for your own goals, you are going to see what I'm talking about in action, okay? So we also want to set those goals for different categories, okay? So obviously residual income. Hello, let's make $100,000 a month of residual income. That's a great goal. Let's set it. Let's put a time frame attached to it. Let's get CEO done, right? But then, like the next one, I just said rank. Like what rank do you want to achieve? And then also more personal goals, like maybe I want to have a vacation that's paid for this year, and maybe I want to be debt free by this time. Maybe I want to have my Jeep. Maybe I just want to, have a few $100s a month coming in. Whatever it might be, this is how we're going to help you do it, is by getting clear with what you want, okay? So here's what we're doing, is we are currently designing your pre-launch. Okay, so there's usually 2 stages in a 90-day challenge, the pre-launch and the launch. Now we're kind of going right into the 90-day run, but the idea is you want to kind of design your pre-launch. So what this means is you're going to want to design your inner circle of people that are going to go with you, that are going to be, part of your core group that you're going to take into this 90-day run. Now, if you're just brand new in the business, you don't have anyone on your team, don't worry about this. You are the inner circle, okay? But if you've got a team, if you're, headed for 2-star SFC, many of you will probably hit that position by June, but you're going to focus on the actual launch starting today, which is, getting a core group together, helping them get their core groups together, helping them get their core groups together, et cetera, okay? So you've got the Salt Lake National, which concludes our SFC Summit. It's like we're going to be climbing the face of this mountain together until we hit that event, okay? I love it. It's like the perfect time to do this. And so you get to then multiply your presence, multiply your real estate in the room at that event, and to really see how many people you want to be there, okay? So we already talked about kind of month 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to build this from home meetings, weekly events, and then, of course, promoting for the regional event. And we'll go through more of that as we go along. But look at the goal is to add people to this campaign all along the way. So I'm actually going to do something I've never done before in my 90-day runs of the SFC Summit. I'm going to allow people to be added to the program over the next few days, maybe even the next week, okay? The reason I'm doing that is because there are some people who are going to really be able to utilize this information who are just getting started. I know we're getting some amazing people started, and so I want to make sure that we can share the love. The level of commitment must be the same, okay? So let's look at this. Groundwork. We need to identify what's distracting you. We need to identify obstacles, okay? And so you probably know yourself well enough to know what's going to get in your way. And it's important that you communicate that to your accountability partner, to myself, just to identify what could take you out of the game. Because this is going to be something where as soon as accountability sheds light on what's actually happening, then what we have to do is make sure that our flag is planted and we're going to move through those obstacles. Okay, so any distractions that might take, maybe you're spending 3 hours a night on the TV. I don't know. Maybe you're into video games. Maybe you are addicted to March Madness. I guess March Madness is over now, but sports might be something that you may want to just kind of, put aside for 90 days. Like, identify where your time is being spent and where you want it to be spent. Now, I'm not saying make a radical life change or anything. I'm just saying most people don't realize how much time they actually have in the week, and we all like to hide behind this "I'm busy" factor. But if we really looked at each hour of every day and we identified whether or not those hours were being spent taking us to where we want to be, then essentially that totally lost my train of thought. Essentially, that's going to help us get to where we want to be. Okay, so set business hours, develop the schedule. Honestly, when I first did my first 90-day run, I needed a change in my business. I had to make 10 grand a month. Like, I had to. It was not a cute little, like, this is going to be nice to make some money. I had to make it happen. And so I had to negotiate with my family. My mom is on the line right now listening in as a soon to be SFC. And she knows that there were times in my life where I had to say, you know what? I'm going to need to just, you know, hunker down and focus for a minute. You know, I did a little negotiation with the family. At the same time, you get to decide what that looks like, okay? And just commit to making every minute that you do spend in Tronaut count. So establishing your SFC why, your long-term why, and your dream, and writing that out and having your dream statement is also very important. You want to have vision because you're going to be sharing that vision with the people we share Tronaut with. And then, of course, you want to take care of your temple. So healthy mind and body. We're going to talk about some ways to structure your day so that you are the most productive ever, okay? There's some concepts, there's some materials I'm going to share with you that changed my life forever and took me to the next level, okay? So practical action, we're going to talk about success tracking through the DMO. This is going to be what I'm going to spend the remainder of the call on, is the daily method of operation, okay? We're going to talk about your posture in business. We're going to talk about filling your pipeline and keeping it full, developing and sustaining the momentum, and developing independent leaders, okay? So those are all parts of what we're going to be doing here. Back to the basics. Again, identifying those money-making activities. What is actually work in Tronaut? Signing new associates up, launching, attending, and promoting training events. You know, the home meetings, the PBRs, the promotions, the payouts are the three focuses that we're going to be having. And let's see, this final piece is the DMO. So let's look at this for a minute. Okay, now, can you guys read the DMO on the right side of the paper? If someone could text me, that would be awesome. Just want to make sure you can view this. Otherwise, I'll pull up another. Actually, this might be more helpful. This is more helpful. Okay. So this is called the daily method of operation. This is how we're going to be tracking your progress through the SFC Summit, okay? So obviously, you start with your name. You start with the week of, okay? So that's going to be, you know, like this is week 1. You're going to put in the dates and stuff. And then you're going to put in the total number of national pre-registrations you have in your entire team, leg 1 and leg 2. Now, most of you only have 2 organizations right now. As soon as you hit SFC, we're going to be starting that 3rd leg of business, so don't worry if that kind of trips you up. But then look at this, total new volume for this month. You get to kind of identify the new associates who have come on board. Like it's April 1st, and so we have really a fresh month to look at. Okay, we get to really make April what we want it to be. And so identifying each week how many new associates came into organization 1, organization 2. Sometimes I'll call my legs certain things, which if people weren't familiar with networking would sound really funny. But I'd say, okay, so family leg over here, Oregon team over here, you know, like, or whatever it might be for you. Just identify where those legs are, okay? Because you want to be tracking the volumes. Now, look at these activities. I'm getting that it might be a little low resolution here, so we'll do our best. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing this with all of you. So all of your emails will be getting the copy of this document that I created so that you can print it out and be using it every single day, okay? And I will, at the end of each day, tally up the points for the activities that I did. So let's look at this. Building the team activities, okay? You're going to want to use this as your roadmap, okay? So look at this. Personally attend a weekly event is worth points, okay? Personal guest at a home meeting or a 2-on-1 or an executive luncheon, that's going to be 5 points per guest. Team guest at home meeting, so if your team brings a guest, if you help your team get people there, That's going to be 2 points per team guest. Okay, that's just for exposing people to the business. That's not even having them sign up. Let's look at this next piece. Personal home meeting with 5 or more guests. So if this is where you have 5 or more guests at an event, you get 20 points. See, these points are going to dramatically increase based on the level of personal activity that you do. And then team home meeting with 5 or more guests. So if your team hosts an event and they've got 5 or more guests there and you were a part of helping them make that happen, that's a 20-point item on your DMO. Then look at this. We've got personally sponsor a new associate. Whoa, 25 points. So you get more points if you personally sponsor someone. That just makes sense, because here's what I know. If you do, like whatever you do, your team is going to do. If you get into management mode and start telling people what to do, guess what your team's going to go do, right? But if you're in personal action, oh my gosh, your team is going to see that and be like, oh my gosh, they're like that. Anytime my business has been stalled or something hasn't been moving as fast as I've wanted it to, the answer has always been personal activity. So I am giving 5 more points to people who personally sponsor an associate. Super cool. Now, if the team sponsors a new associate, boom, that's a 20-point piece right there. So attending the team call, 5 points. I really should have a caveat to that. If you get 2 points per, I'm not going to make a caveat to that, but getting your people on the team call is so important. Do you know that there's a CEO call happening at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time where our founders are going to get onto the line and share new announcements and the bonus? Get on that call, like attend a team call. That's going to be 5 points. Acquire a personal retail customer. So this could be the core. This could be, whatever's volume based. If it counts as volume for you, that's going to count as 10 points. So go out and close a merchant account or a solar account. Boom. You can go out and get some great DMO points just by acquiring some personal retail customers. Promote. This is my favorite. Okay, this is my favorite. If you help someone promote to the position of executive in their first 2 weeks, or FC in 30 days, that's a 25-point DMO point, okay? Promote a new executive in your first 30 days, that's 10 points. Team promotion after 30 days, executive or above, is 5 points anytime someone hits a promotion after their first 30 days. Help a new associate earn a fast start bonus. That's a 20-point DMO. And again, DMO stands for daily method of operation. Okay. Responsible for pre-registering someone to the national event. That's a 25-point piece. Why? Because if they get to that national event, you are going to see the results of their production over the next 6 to 9 months because of that one event. It's going to multiply your efforts 10 times. Okay. Responsible for pre-registering someone to a regional event should be more than 10 points, I think, because at that regional event, they'll understand the power of the national event. And then personal development. Every single one of you should be reading or listening to a success publication, whether it's an audiobook, whether it's a subscription to Darren Daily, but it just needs to be 15 minutes a day. You get 2 points a day for doing your personal development. Okay, I can give you suggestions if you need a book. I got a library. So that is for the building the team activities that are going to get you points in your DMO. Okay. Now the building the book activities are for those of you licensed agents. This is a different category, but look at getting a new policy written. It's a 20-point DMO. New licensed agent promoted in your team is a 10-point. And responsible for pre-registering someone to the boot camp events is 20 points as well. So you can build both parts of the business through this DMO. And then on the second page, you're going to be putting in the day. So like Monday, and you're going to be writing in the activity. So 2-on-1 with, Amber, how many points was that? That was a team exposure, so if that was a team exposure, team guest, that was a 2-point appointment. If they signed up and it was Amber's guest, then that would be a 20 points plus an exposure. So a team guest plus someone signing up in the team would be 20 points, so that would be 22-point DMO. Okay, so then you just put those points into the points category, and every day, Monday, you could have a few activities, then Tuesday, and then you have a few activities, and you just tally up all these points. You know, personal development, attend a team call on Sunday, you know, those types of things. All of a sudden, at the bottom, each week, you're going to total up the points. Okay. And so some of you will have to fill out both of these columns for 1 week. Some of you will work into that. But the DMO is designed to just show what it is that you're doing and give you an idea, kind of a measurement of how quickly that's going to get you to SFC. I tell you, if you've got 150 points a week or 200 points a week going onto this DMO, you're on track to hit SFC by June for sure. Okay. So we're going to be tracking this, and the people who have, here, let me screen share for a moment. Let me unscreen share for a moment so I can connect with you. Okay, the sun came out, and there we go. So anyway, for those of you who are going to be tracking this with the DMO, it's going to, each week we're going to have a kind of a recognition for the person with the most DMO points. It's going to be a results production-based recognition. And by the way, leaders, that's important that you only ever shine light or shine light. Of course, I'm like blinded by the sun right now. You only ever shine light on something that is causing people to win. And so this is why this DMO is going to really help kind of navigate you in the right direction. And you want to have the people who are serious about hitting some promotions or some goals, like you want to have them doing this DMO alongside you. So you can print that out. Right now, I'm going to be sharing this with everyone and making sure that everyone is plugged in. So just to recap some things, this is going to be a lot of fun, okay? We're not going to have technologically challenged issues throughout the rest of these SFC Summit calls. So the first 10 minutes are going to be a lot simpler. But what we're going to do is make sure that everyone is on track to hit their success. And so next week, what we're going to be doing on the 10th, so that's going to be the next session is Monday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be going through how to launch an associate the correct way. And the homework is going to be joining a Tuesday night call that none other than Mr. Jake Spencer is doing for our team. He's doing a launch call on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to show the proper way to launch an associate. So that's going to be your homework. There's a few different pieces of homework, okay? First piece is you're going to fill out this DMO, daily method of operation, every day with activities that you're doing. Put everything on there that you can find on that list and work it. Like, make it a competition with yourself. Make sure that each week you've got more points than the last. Like you get to design how effective this program is for you. And so what's awesome about the DMO is I get really crazy about this, okay? So I like, at the end of the day, if I'm falling a little short, I'm getting on the phone just because I want my DMO to look good, because I'm going to show you all what my DMO looks like next Monday. And you're going to be submitting your DMO points into an intake form questionnaire that we're going to do each week. So you're going to be sent an email to fill out a questionnaire to be included on the next call. So you don't just get access to next Monday. You've got to submit the questionnaire and your homework in order to be included in the Monday call, okay? So it's just a little bit of a, like, let's be our word and get these things done. But it's as simple as in typing in a couple things. Like, it's not designed to make you do something or you'll get cut off the program. I want you to be getting in the habit of tracking your success by using the DMO. I want you to get in the habit of being able to share that and have accountability with that. And again, okay, so fill out your DMO, be on the Tuesday night call with Jake. I'll get those call details out soon. I believe it's going to be the same exact conference call that I sent out, the 701-801-1211 number. So get on the call with Jake Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and then touch base, find and touch base with your accountability partner and share some of the goals that you have with them this week. So we've created an SFC Summit secret Facebook group that you're now going to be added to immediately after this video feed. And then for those of you who do not yet have an accountability partner, I'm going to put a post up there and say comment below if you're needing a accountability partner. And if you're not on Facebook, you can text me and I'll see if I can pair you up with someone, okay? So with that said, we covered some ground today. We covered kind of the itinerary of what the next 12 weeks are going to look like. And I hope you understand that everything that we've done to design this, like I put a lot of energy and effort into making sure that you walk away with what you need to get this thing done. Because at the end of the day, what we are looking at is the fastest growing company in the nation in terms of direct sales. What we're looking at is you overriding a movement. All these things that we talk about are taking place. In fact, I just signed someone up yesterday because everything I said came to pass. Like I told them, I casted vision, and everything that I had casted vision for had come to fruition. They were like, I gotta jump in, I gotta do this. Like, you know, so understand that the words that you speak are super powerful to create where we're going. And this week, I want everyone to kind of get their heads down and whatever marketplace you're in, whether you're coming from Texas, Wisconsin, Sacramento, Washington, Oregon, Vegas, whether you are in Michigan, whether you are in Connecticut or Pennsylvania, which is where everyone on the line is plugging in from, we get really focused on drawing out what we're doing and making our DMO points as high as humanly possible. And we're going to come back next Monday and see who gets first, second, third place, who gets this, who gets that. And it's going to be really fun, you guys. So thank you for being a part of this. The launch call with Jake is going to be instrumental in facilitating this next wave of momentum as we all ride into our dreams and climb the summit to success. So thank you again. I got to give a shout out to Silicon Valley. Okay, you know, because we got some people tying in there too. So you guys are amazing. You inspire me. Again, for those of you who couldn't hear me in the beginning, I acknowledge you for taking a courageous, bold stand and saying, you know what, I'm going to make this thing happen. I'm going to make this thing work. I'm a believer. I'm stepping into a place of faith that is going to produce results, and I'm going to do it with a team of people who all come together and care. By the way, at the end of this journey, when we approach and reach the June national event, we're going to get together. We're going to have a special SFC Summit get together with some goodies that this is just going to be really, really fun. So I got some surprises up my sleeve, and I know this is going to be worth every minute you spend on yourself, because the information you learn here is what it took for me to go from someone who wasn't making money in network marketing to someone who is now making more money than I ever thought was like, wow, I can think a little bit bigger than my current income, but it's really good, you guys. Like, let's get you into that. Let's get you the next story. Let's get you into a Jeep. If you haven't already done that, let's get you into $1,000 a month residual. Let's get you into $10,000 a month residual. It's pretty fun. And every single one of you can achieve that. SFC is the first step. But we are here to change lives. We are here to give people hope. And so anyway, I could talk for another 5 hours. You know me. But let's get to work. Let's remember that 11 o'clock CEO call. Let's all show up. You know why? Because the founders can see who calls in. And then they can see who on your team calls in. I want to be the team that's known as having the most people on these calls, because they are spending their valuable time pouring into us, and they also see who opens the emails from Trinad. So just FYI, we want to be the ones rising to the top. We want to have the highest pre-registrations, the highest production, the highest attendance on calls. Like, those are the people that I believe are going to be rewarded with the presence of the co-founders. And so anyway, you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm going to add you to the Facebook group, and I'm going to send out the DMO so that we can all, starting today, start tracking our success. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and let's go hit April with a new energy and an excitement that we've never had, and just run right into making this the best month and the best quarter of our lives. You guys have a great rest of your day. God bless you.